to Strawberry Ink., the podcast where we dive deep into true crime stories that haunt our communities. Tonight, we're covering a case that shook Memphis, Tennessee, and the nation: the abduction and murder of Eliza Fletcher. A mother, a teacher, a devoted runner, a woman who set out for her usual early morning jog and never came home. This is a tragic story of Eliza Fletcher. Eliza Fletcher, or Liza, as she was known to her loved ones, was a 34-year-old kindergarten teacher, a mother of two, and the granddaughter of a Memphis billionaire. Despite coming from wealth, Eliza was known for her kindness and down-to-earth nature. She was an avid runner, often seen jogging in the early hours before dawn. But on September 2nd, 2022, her morning run would take a horrifying turn. It was around 4 a.m. when Eliza left her home in Memphis wearing a pink sports bra and purple running shorts. Her usual route took her through the University of Memphis area, a place where she should have felt safe. But security cameras tell us something chilling. At approximately 4:20 a.m., a black GMC Terrain SUV pulled up beside her. A man got out. In a struggle that lasted mere seconds, Eliza was forced into the vehicle. Then it sped away, disappearing into the night. When Eliza didn't return home, her husband, Richard Fletcher, immediately became concerned. By 7 a.m., he called the police and a search began. Authorities quickly uncovered disturbing evidence. Her phone and a water bottle were found discarded near the scene of the abduction. Surveillance footage from a nearby business captured the horrifying moment she was forced into this SUV. Tire tracks and DNA evidence pointed to one suspect, Cleotha Abston. Abston was no stranger to crime. In 2000, he had kidnapped a Memphis attorney at gunpoint, forcing him into a car's trunk and later demanding ransom. For that crime, he served 20 years in prison, but despite his release, it seemed he hadn't changed. Police located the GMC Terrain near Abston's residence. Inside, forensic testing revealed Eliza's blood. On September 3rd, Abston was spotted by the Memphis police and arrested. But Eliza was still missing, and he would not tell the police where Eliza's body was. For days, the community held its breath. Then on September 5th, 2022, the search came to a heartbreaking end in a grassy area behind an abandoned home, about 7 miles from where she was abducted. Authorities discovered Eliza's remains. Her body was taken to the Shelby County Coroner's Office for examination. The remains were confirmed, and gruesome details regarding her death were discovered. An autopsy revealed she had suffered a gunshot wound to the head and blunt force trauma. It was a brutal and senseless act of violence that stole her life. She had bled to death with that severe wound, and the act was confirmed a murder. The funeral services for her were held at the Second Presbyterian Church on the morning of September 10th by the canonical funeral directors. Cleotha Abston was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and tampering of evidence. His criminal past and lack of remorse painted a chilling picture. The case sparked outrage not only because of its brutality, but because it raised larger concerns about early release policies, repeat offenders, and the safety of women simply going for a run. I want to include, my script says women, but trans women are included as well, and young men as well. For many, Eliza Fletcher's name became a symbol, a reminder that even in seemingly safe places, darkness can lurk. Abston had been identified through surveillance footage as he was out on bond for an unrelated rape case. He is known to have been aggressive with his alleged victims. Eliza Fletcher was more than just a victim. She was a mother, a wife, a teacher, and a woman who loved to run. She deserved to finish her jog that morning. Her death is a heartbreaking reminder that safety is never guaranteed, but as a community, we can continue to fight for justice and protect one another. The murder case regarding Eliza Fletcher was delayed for a while due to the suspect's unrelated rape trial. This other case was a crime that occurred in 2021 regarding another one of his victims, Eliza Franklin. In this case, Cleotha Abston was charged with aggravated rape, aggravated kidnapping, and illegal weapons possession. These charges came after he was indicted in Shelby County. He was put on trial for them in April 2024 due to him having maintained his innocence in this case with a not guilty plea. The jury in this trial ultimately convicted him on the 12th day of this month, finding him guilty on rape, firearms possession, and a lesser charge of kidnapping. At this point, his bond was revoked. This wasn't his first jury trial, as he had been tried by a different jury decades ago and had been detained in jail due to the attorney he once kidnapped when he was at a young age. Deputy State Prosecutor Paul Hagerman deemed the rape a super aggressive crime and seeked a lengthy sentence that would ensure Absher would spend the rest of his life in prison. His bond had been revoked, but it did not matter since he was in jail anyway for the murder of Eliza Fletcher. The jury in this trial had been selected in one day, and in total, the trial lasted for 3 days. Abston's defense attorney, Julie Ganguly, filed an appeal on behalf of him for this case. Shelby County District Judge Lee Coffey sentenced Abston to 80 years in prison the following month. 40 of those years for rape, another 40 for kidnapping, and a concurrent 8 years for firearms possession. He received jail credit for about a year for having been in custody due to his murder case, as he was denied bail after his initial appearances. Months later, he would go to trial for his next case regarding the murder of Eliza Fletcher. Abston reached a plea deal and switched his plea over from not guilty to guilty on the first day of his trial. He initially faced the death penalty, but no longer did after this deal was accepted. He was immediately sentenced to life in prison without parole. After being sentenced, he was temporarily housed at Memphis, Tennessee's Intake and Reception Center, where inmates are evaluated in order to be assigned to a state prison. As of now, he is serving his sentence at Tennessee's Northeast Correctional Complex.
Hello there, this is Santiago in the future. I would like to share an update regarding Cleotha. He appealed both of his crime cases, and recently, this October 2025, on the 22nd day, there was a decision made on his rape case appeal. The Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals denied him a new trial. All other matters regarding the appeals are pending.
Thank you for joining me on Strawberry Ink. If you want to learn more about how to support victims and their families, do a Google search. There are many organizations out there that need your help. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, every story deserves to be told.